This is Deb Helfrich, hashtag redheaded She-Hulk. I'm making my own little performance art web series genre right in front of your eyes. Because who am I playing with today? Tim Ferriss, Jerry Seinfeld, Dave Chappelle. No, serious though. This is what's going on around here. Having been a hermit for a decade, and now in the year of everybody splinter apart, I had a place in my life development where I was really in need of human companionship and touch and care and everything. Just in healing my childhood trauma, having a midlife metamorphosis, changing my physical state in a radically massive way, losing 150 pounds in the 15 months after turning 50. I have a complex story to tell you about how getting to a place where you're so comfortable with everything that's happened to you, you can stream of consciousness straight onto the internet. Get in a state and say, I'm going to just talk about myself to myself. Now, the point of this, for me, is this is my career and I'm looking for an executive producer. I'm looking for a patron, like one of these lovely men who I've been tweeting at. They got assistants, they just randomly, what I'm expecting is all of the three of them. This is random occurrence that they get irritated about something. We're all sensitive. This is what some of the podcast's been about. We're all just real sensitive to things and gotta work things out. And we're looking at like the insanity of human civilization, right? Why some work like that, right? So you're just gonna get a question, and then we want to be like the tweeter sphere. Show me what's on humanity's mind. Along comes the hashtag redheaded She-Hulk. Perfect timing. I'm fantasizing a new career for you out loud. Daydreaming to demonstrate how it's done mindfully, without putting purpose, with a boldness to like, who cares if you understand where we're going with this? Look at how certain I am that I'm the shiz. That's between, like, that's a whole day's worth of work, a week's worth of work. It's all this work that I've been doing alone in the world. I mean, publishing it live on YouTube. Anybody could join me. There's nobody joining me. And it's matrixing the work. It's deepening the work. It's really challenging me as a philosopher and performer of the evolution of consciousness, of how to demonstrate it while explaining it well enough that people want Okay, so that is an embodiment. And what that was is, again, some different, with not necessarily chaotic, but unsyncing hand warming. So I'm like this, a nice rhythm. But what was happening there but again, not quite so chaotic. And what that was an energetic demonstration through the lens of the rhythm of my body. There's a sort of synesthesia of that movement and tonality and the focus that I brought of your attention to that versus a lot of hand signals you barely notice. I mean, you feel them. You whether you're enjoying yourself laughing with somebody, getting their anger, the embodiment of it. You see, it created that stammer of joy. And these stammers of joy are prolonging the pleasure. There's literally a buildup of energy. How many comedians make you have a gasm out of like how laughter sounds? The stammering we know of some of the comedians is the got that one too. If you didn't, you're succumbing to a real patriarchal version of sexuality. In such that you're in routines and ruts, and you just graze in the same row. We're here to always be creating. And our own lives. You know, where all of this goes astray is that human civilization got fucked up with the whole colonialization, the way that racism gave capitalism all of the advantages. Free labor. It doesn't appear like that, but forced labor, slave labor, the way that to this day, there's so much pro bono time. Like with all of the commutes now evaporating, I'm sure people see like how much extra overhead was being given freely to these companies in that commute. That harmed lives, gives people cancer from the exhaust combustion, the stress, you know, as I'm going a mile a minute. That constant level of always having to make a decision about the kids and who's going to where. There is a level of brain processing power required to function at even the most basic level as an adult in 2020 that somebody needs to step up and be a solutioner. Because we will self-extinct the species within 30 years. The brain's going haywire. The biofield is not, because of our posture, our biomechanics, our nutrition, all of our things, we can't pump this much amplitude through these bodies like this without like not keeping the body's biochemistry just breaking down, because there's no signaling. We're not a wholly cohesive, energetic being in the rhythm of humans as we were born. But I've been coming up into this frequency, embodying a much more chaotic state, like a piece of music, a stairway to heaven. And now I release the tension. the synesthesia of philosophy performed in the crescendos known musically. It can be overlaid with the lattice of stand-up comedy. I'm taking you on a journey into the metaphorical ways we talk about being human and how they're all right. But if you line up some ones that you don't really think about together, you can start to sink into like, that's really the truth. And the truth is, you're beating your own self up out of living your best life. We all are. But then we all think that everyone else is doing that to us. There's a lot of truth there, but it's not the whole truth, because there's also the civilization framework that gives some people all of this extra oomph because of beauty or wealth. I mean, those are the two right now. Like, I go on. No, that's what you need right now. I'm in this place of having not gotten what I wanted or needed today. But having gotten, it's that extra layer so there I just had a feeling that language wasn't going to get us anywhere describing this feeling I was having. We go around accent, like we can name feelings, but feelings are so individual in some ways. What is pain and what is pleasure in our nerves? And what it's bioelectricity. But it's also this periodicity of my body with that yawn. It's saying the done. I might want to keep going on. I might want to keep lingering in case my friend pings me. But it's unlikely that he shall. This is the complexity of being on different continents. And it's, I want to be seen or heard, seen and heard. I want to express my love to him. Not because I want reciprocity, but because I want to share that time. And that love is like the explanation for that. Just wanting to share the time is love, and love is wanting to share the time. And he participates. Is like so this is somatic re-experiencing, healing traumas. We got to this place where talking about my friend, my male friend, and I really have no data about his whys for saying, I'll call you today, and how rarely that happens. Because this crazy different infrastructure time situation of just complexity that I sit around assuming I have some kind of idea of what the hell life is like, and I can't. And so, the electricity goes out, and sleeping in the dark, like, he needs to call, but the electricity been out for hours. It is late because he can only call it like 2 a.m. because of the data rates. Poverty is a crime against humanity. And all this complexity and all the ways that business is set up, take advantage of the individuals, making it seem as though turn it around, we're serving your needs. But in reality, we just don't really need very much of this stuff that we're all locked up into. All of the data tariff rates and getting a little bit here and taxing this a little bit there, and another municipality wants some taxes, and then this happens and that happens. And because we have the computing power to now niche all this administrivia in the pricing tiers. All of this app culture and the cloud stuff and the just $5 a month here and $9.99 a month there, and all of this, this digitalization of people. This performance is showing you what we're losing, the capacities we're losing to be so spontaneous that it's like a little bit of craziness. But see, we've gotten to this point now where we've let these human civilizations that want us to be sheep in cubicle captivity, and they have demolished our sense of wildness. It's just in the simple not cagedness. Be clear on the tonality of wild for me in this case. Free. No judgment, no harm, right? The human is over here sincerely working to do this great thing to share with humanity. And she is sincerely just really trying to get paid for it and failing and admitting she's failing, but really unable to get anyone to understand this is what this is. My little creation is creating these improv bits that tie in stream of consciousness and the complexity of the world and pull together these topics and themes. And when you start to get in the rhythm and the flow with me, you get the source code for what's going on in your own mind, in your own best interest. It's that pleasing stuff. You just sort of almost don't recognize. You don't get to be there very long because there's all this socialization and judgment. memorization tops newness. In some ways, again, what we call crazy in the creative sense, which there I wanted to dissociate from in the harm somebody else sense, would know, right? This is the tension that we can't resolve. We think that scarcity in who can be creative So what happened here is I found myself in completely virgin territory. So back again about coming at this the first time, I was kind of crazy, but I rest assured, this is material and bits that cross-reference and intersect in a larger performance. And I'm practicing certain elements of it. It's like, pick up your script on page 47. Let's go through that bit. Because we don't have the actor for the first other pages. I'm really over here creating something and able to pull the focus and dive into the pool, pull the focus, dive into the pool. Did you catch that? That little flop. The pool. Like I was making the movement and saying the word in the way I was making a movement. Pull. It was a synesthesia of a sort of the flub. Because what it was an energy surge, a real bioelectric energy surge of the sort of exponentialness of doing the motion and saying the word, kind of understanding, trying to establish context with you, right? There were two meanings to this sound I was making and going, this one, pull. French nuns teaching me française, sixième arrondissement. I wanted to sprinkle in my dinner. Pauvre is poor. Poivre. I can't. Poivre. Pepper. And really difficult word to say in French. Also in layers of meaning and in the complexity of a well-oiled brain. All this fun and joy. Pauvre, meaning poor. So very scared. The lack of money in this world, it's like feed you to the sharks. Human life force is so precious. I mean, and I get sick that I let it happen to so many other people. Nobody ever really embodied it for me in the way that I feel I can do to get it to stop happening. Individuals simply run out of the voltage to operate in our society when they're not, they don't have, they're playing the video game without all accumulating all of the extra stuff to help them just staying alive and dragging around 200 extra pounds. You're an animal in a state that knows that it's not optimized. So you are constantly on guard. And the reason you're in that particular state is because you're not safe in your environment in some way. Your community, your belonging, and maybe not even anything directly that you can see. It can be a toxin or a range of stressors. Sound from construction plus closeness to exhaust on a freeway, coming together into this apex. Your magnificent body has all these sensors, most especially, stick with me, there's a plethora of them, but the one that we don't think about, that is the one that I just knowing about this one. I mean, when you're thirsty, you're hungry, when you're cold. Of course, your body has a sensor to validate the quality of the air that you're breathing. You cough when you enter a cloud of smoke or get spritzed by one of the perfume things. Particulate, you can feel it. That's a full embodiment of what the thought, the real physiological, my liver just kicked like nobody's business. Those toxins create a memory in your body. Because your immune system, right, it builds up immunity. Is when you get exposed to something, it figures out how to do it, then it stores it up. And, we have our digestive tract and everything. But there's also the quality of our air has sensors. And our body can sense when there is too much excess carbon in the air that we're breathing. The 6-foot biosphere, if it's full of combustion, byproducts of combustion, carbon monoxide, plus the petrochemical tars, Again, more embodiment. Some of the best embodiment I've done yet in my life, my career. Live. Just cause. Please, humanity, help me find the patron to produce this performance. It's a fantastic series. This is Netflix quality. In that, I'm doing a 4-minute mile here for you. I'm proving it's possible to lose 150 pounds in 15 months after turning 50. To spend a life being nearly utterly silent. And then waking up and being like, oh, holy shit. I was always meant to be a stand-up comedian. That's what all this energy that was locked inside of me didn't become my work. And it burned me out, and I think it burns most of us out. This what it is, and I think this is maybe what started the epiphany on all this. We're here to really explore how to express the way the parts of the world that light us up work. So if you're a glass artist, you light that medium, and you wanna, how do you make it pretty? How do you make it fragile, dish shape, solid? On and on and on, and all the qualities. Like you just become obsessed with answering questions about glass. Or you become obsessed about answering questions about water. Think about what just happened there. Think about how my body just performed thirst. We're getting right into the monologue. Like sometimes you just, we don't stay present enough to our own tangents to realize they are not. We don't stay present enough to our own feelings to realize our body really wants to be hydrated. And that being this optimally who I am, even in such jeopardy, such feelings of the world is about to lose my capacity to share this new skill, train people up on it, explain consciousness. So this is embodied intelligence. There was what I had said, how I had said it, how there were a few interpretations that were probably going to be the most likely to land, that weren't precisely what I was meaning. Questioning came in. And I really needed to just trust those feelings could be your body needing just to move. And like it feels like but I'm just supposed to go like the vocalization spasming is what wants to happen. And we didn't start seeing that in our environment as people got more and more civilized, standardized to assembly lines and cubicle captivity. Stop seeing all of the varieties of energy being expressed in humans. That's good. This is so good. This is so good. This is really good for Aaron Alexander. Dude. Come on. Let's do this like movement, Socratic dialogue. What a cool thing to think about. Yeah, apparently I moved way past Chappelle and Seinfeld. But this is the thing that since no human ever really I have not experienced I mean, so again, I was ready to say human loved, and I was like, oh, they're gonna think it's and then there was only I have never in my life felt I don't really know quite how to say it because it's about the safety of being loved, of knowing the love. So, in really taking the focus off of getting any love, knowing something that has happened in my life was love. Don't have an experience like I'm not going to have a breakdown at 50 because I know love. I don't know love. Is why I think I'm having a breakdown at 50. This is just a financial failure. But in the parlance of the COVID situation and my isolation and complexity, the financial reality brings in the real current traumatization. And so any of this that skews out of just complete creation from complete freedom. But this is the human condition, right? I mean, you get to a certain level of like, I can surf this stream of consciousness stuff, and I am going to be vulnerable, and I'm knowing that I can pull together some sort of really phenomenal web series, stand-up philosophy, myself, partners, dialogues and monologues that model these sort of inner vacays, right? This sort of turning into somebody who's creating the wildest dreams for themselves. In a state of like doing what it seems to be the most logical thing to kind of move in that direction. By going, well, I mean, I can't pick up the phone and demand Dave Chappelle, book a set with me. How do I make that? If I never thought, well, that's a challenge. It will never happen. But in the specificity of thinking, well, that's the challenge. And I am Dave Chappelle's comedy soulmate, and I want to test out that hypothesis. The hypothesis that I am Dave Chappelle's comedy soulmate. That's the medicine. It solves why I may not have gotten to experience love sort of from within being generated without. But all this experience in self-love, love generating within, and living a very outsider existence may end up in a fair bit of tragedy here. And what I'm seeing is a bit of a birth of an actress. Of my own life. Like being the writer of my own life, the director of my own movie, my own documentary about my own midlife metamorphosis and human potential. I'm not playing around with this stuff. It is astounding to me that nobody's caught on to me. It's like the asynchronous distractedness of social media is utterly crazy. Utterly crazy. And what distracted me there is the literal non-safety in my environment of having a landlady upstairs that there was communication barriers. And I need her understanding more than anything. So I work very hard to figure it out. But I don't have the data on how to communicate from any of my past experiences. That I can't really conceive of it, and I know that how I'm communicating angers her. So I'm trying to get it right, which makes me very analytically going sort of point by point by point by point by point, which doesn't land well, which makes me want to, again, make things clear, which the only way I know to do that is the point by point by point by point. It's just the I'm doing my best to begin with. So when that somehow creates a non-optimal emotion, like, well, that wasn't what I wanted to do. So let me try and fix it with, just through the same pathway as I was using to start with, because really wasn't trying to hurt anybody, do anything. And is there somebody in the world who cares? So I just went to check LinkedIn and Twitter. No sign of another human. How many of our lives in these crucial moments feel like that? Because of the structure of human civilization, which we can change, which we should want to change. But the game is not humane. And the game of human life should be humane. I'm going to go transition this into a deeper meditation. So, bye bye, Internet.